To this week in White Supremacy. I feel like my voice is still like kind of hoarse from this weekend.
Yeah,
we had,
I needed a day to recover.
Yeah, we had a wild weekend. We had a great weekend. We had, we brought hip hop royalty into the city.
Absolutely, man.
Common, Lupe, Meth and Redman. We had
crazy
a big event right outside of our early voting place in historic black neighborhood, Homewood in Pittsburgh.
You know what's crazy? There was so many dope events this past weekend in the city, but like ours really just stood out.
Of course, but it was weird to see Pittsburgh being the main character.
Yeah, all across the
country. This election.
Yeah,
because Trump was also here and Elon was here and. Right. A myriad of other folks, the Blue Wall Tour and all of these different things were happening. But, you can't compete with One Hood. My name is Jasiri X, by the way. I am co-founder and CEO of One Hood Media. And to my immediate right,
it's a miracle.
That seemed incomplete. But go ahead.
There was like 4 hops.
Yeah, but it was only one. It's a miracle.
Only been like 6 years, 2 months, 5 days, 20,000 hours. It's fine.
This is why you're still single, because you're never satisfied.
Oh, shit. Wow.
You keep trying to bring up my personal life to this podcast.
Yeah,
because you do it to me all the time.
You put your stuff out there.
You have a whole song about your personal life.
I didn't have a choice. I was kind of backed into a corner.
I try to live in secrecy. People like, you know what Miracle does on the weekend? No, they don't.
That's right, Miracle.
Anyways, it's girl Miracle, a.k.a. Big Blessing and the Big Blessings. Mayhem Miracle, apparently.
Absolutely.
I was trying, to be, very moderate.
You're going to be...
There's nothing moderate about you, Miracle.
The Mirror Miracle
I
today.
was, but no.
Malicious.
Miracle.
Maleficent.
I'm never malicious.
Malicious Miracle is crazy.
It's never...
I'm going to still calling you Malintent Miracle.
I never have malice, and it's never malintent. It's always like accidental. But it's not anything I do. I don't hurt people at all. I don't try to hurt people intentionally.
I don't.
Brooke has a whole list.
Oh, absolutely.
I realized, as I told you the other day, I was like, I wonder how y'all two were friends. But the more I hang out with you, I realize y'all are both the same.
I have a list.
They have lists and receipts. I think it's like itemized.
I keep my receipts.
And color coded.
I keep receipts. I got screenshots.
Yeah.
Fuck what you talking about.
I think when they go to work out, they like
depending on how this election comes out. I have a series of posts.
Yeah,
man.
My brother.
It's your boy.
Bring some calmness back.
Trouble NLS. Apparently, niggas look single.
Shit.
Never like supremacy, all that.
And sir,
the single Asiatic intelligence. Yeah,
it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Hey twin, what's up?
Hey twin. Here's the thing. Miracle's single by choice, right? I'm single because I don't know how to act.
Well, that's a choice.
But you're in a play though. What you mean?
Oh shit. That was a good one.
Well played, sir. I didn't even. Yeah, that took a minute to register, but yeah. Large up to you.
Speaking of acting,
I just know that.
But acting was done by Donald Trump this weekend, where he cosplayed.
Cosplay's crazy.
As the minimum wage workers he's trying to put out of business.
That's man.
But again, it's this thing of like pretending that you care.
Right.
He clearly does not, but Donald, they closed the McDonald's. This is the first thing, right? They tried to make it seem like he walked into like just any regular McDonald's. But they know, come on, if you pulled up to the drive-thru and you seen Donald Trump and you had the chance to like throw a shake at that nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like throw some fries at that dude, you know what I'm saying? Cuss him out. You know, we probably would, but they didn't allow that to happen. So they closed the McDonald's down, and Donald Trump pretended to work the fries, And they got a series of screened people to drive through the drive-through and ask Donald Trump questions that he probably already knew were coming and had ready for some answers. Did you want to play, Donald's cosplaying?
Wage should be raised.
Well, I think these people who work hard, they're great. And I just saw a process that's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to see. These are great franchises and produce a lot of jobs, and it's great. And great people working here, too.
But minimum wage is
really
So he was asked, you can pause it. He was out, and of course he didn't answer, but he was asked.
He never answers any question.
Do you think the minimum wage should be raised? And he said, well, these people work hard. They're great. But he did not say whether or not the minimum wage should be raised, right? If you're somebody that works at McDonald's right now, probably 99.9% of those people don't have not even a minimum wage, but a livable wage.
You
right?
remember when minimum wage was $5.15?
Yeah.
And that wasn't that long ago.
Well, no, it's $7 now.
Yeah. I'm just saying it's barely gone up.
It's right.
Barely gone up at all.
Right. And the individuals that Donald Trump wants to actually give tax cuts to.
Yeah. Or the niggas that could care less about minimum wage.
$1 billion. Yeah. Well, they care about it because they don't want to pay people.
Well, that's what I meant.
Remember when we were just saying, hey, yo, can you just give people $15 an hour?
Right.
Of the fight for 15, and now $15 an hour is not a livable wage.
Miracle.
So even $15 would not allow you to take care of your family, pay your bills, and have any type of sustainability to your life.
Miracle, don't all the states around Pennsylvania have $15 as the minimum wage?
Some are working towards 15.
Okay.
We're still a little stagnant.
Yeah, I know PA is, yeah.
So there are struggle. Some are getting to 15. Some are doing 12. But it is changing all over and across the country, except for Pennsylvania, and we haven't lifted ours. Ours is
right. And just to say, our governor wants to raise minimum wage, but the Republican Senate is blocking that minimum wage being raised. But this was I guess on the door at this McDonald's. It says. And this is Festerville. That's interesting. We plan to be closed Sunday, October 20th until 4 p.m. to accommodate a visit at the request of former President Donald Trump and his campaign. We're not a political organization. We probably open our doors to everyone. And as a locally owned and operated location, this visit provides a unique opportunity to shed a light on the positive impact of small businesses here in Festerville. And so, again, a lot of people, particularly on the right, lauded this as a great strategy, as something that won Trump the weekend because it went viral. Coming to you, Miracle, as you are currently
trying to get the information about the living wage, so I can explain it correctly.
I see. I just did some. I
thought you were trying to, not be single anymore. I thought you were trying to get your checks off.
What is wrong with these people? Look, listen, alhamdulillah, I'm working on some stuff.
If you work an 8-hour day at $7.50, you're gonna make $60 a day, right? But the government's gonna take $20 out of that check, right, off your day. So you're coming home with $40, right, after taxes, after working an 8-hour day at 7. That's crazy.
It's wild.
Yeah. That's absolutely crazy. And you're doing this job
that's going to be so hard.
That it's hard. You're interacting with people. A lot of times the people aren't in the best spirit, right?
Right.
And so that's the thing. And so to me, it's really I would look at it as the height of disrespect. To have this quote unquote billionaire, and we don't know what Trump actually has because he hasn't released his taxes, just like he hasn't released his medical records, but to just close the McDonald's down and pretend to do this job without not wanting to give me protections, not wanting to give me time off if I get sick or hurt, time off if I have a child, not wanting to raise my wage, not wanting to give me livable wage. But these people still will vote for this man, which is insane to me. But is he a genius marketer? Miracle.
Originally, yes. Had that warning not gone up, he would have won the weekend. Because people would be like, oh my God, look at him sweating and laboring with the working class people. And then it was like a stunt, right? Like had he just walked to the McDonald's, put on his hairnet, did a little application and actually went through the process and put on the uniform and actually worked, it would have been a really amazing stunt. And then it was like, oh, they shut it down. Everybody was, signing waivers.
Who leaked that they shut it? Did they made it a
I think
stage?
people, some of the I don't know their names. I really feel bad, but some of the local journalists was like, this was a stunt.
Well, good
right?
on them.
Yeah, it's funny that people talked about, McDonald's hiring felons was something that was repeated a lot.
It was great, right? Because people need
people need
to
jobs.
support their families. And
people were, talking about he's going to be the new replacement for the Hamburglar. So the jokes came out of this.
That's funny.
I hate when politicians try to pander by acting like they're, empathetic about working class people.
Yes.
Or any voter population that they're trying to appeal to. It's like, why only do this during the campaign?
Yes.
Why didn't you do this as president?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like he was president for 4 years and
That's a
could
great
have
point.
been, in a position to express empathy for the working class.
Yes.
And to actually, make a difference in their lives. But instead, to try and get votes, that's when he wants to pander to that population. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I feel sad for Trump followers. To me, they're like victims of just misinformation and lies. But
Are they victims because they're so woefully complacent in all of this, though?
It's like the older person that when they get that call on the phone that
The Nigerian prince.
Oh, wow, that's sort of racist, but I guess this week in white supremacy. But when they get a call from somebody and, it's like, oh, your son is in danger, and they give them the money, right?
Oh.
It's like it's being conned. And Trump is ultimately the ultimate con man. But in many ways, it's also like a very American thing.
Yeah.
America is like that worldwide. I would happen to be in an Uber with a guy, I think he was from Uzbekistan. And he said before he came to America, he said, we were taught that America had no corruption.
That's crazy.
And I was like, we're the mother and father of corruption. What are you talking about? And it's like, so worldwide, people have this idea of America. Because America is very well marketed, but when you get here, you realize,
I don't know if they'd be upset.
He's driving an Uber up. He said, I was an economist. He said, I'm an economist. He said, I can't get a job. I have my doctor in economics, can't get a job. I'm driving an Uber, right? And so you realize when you get here, I was had. And like you said, you would think you could go back, but people are like, oh, we got a STEMI.
I know.
No real benefits, no real support, no real help, nothing for all the, think about during COVID when that job that Trump pretended to cosplay of was, what were they called?
Frontline workers?
Essential workers.
Essential.
Workers,
that was an essential worker, an essential job. No protections for any of those people. And people will turn around and vote for him. It's crazy to me.
I know when people just get off that airplane and they walk in the airport, they be like, this is ghetto ass country.
Yeah.
Like,
1,000%.
America the ghetto.
And not to be disrespectful, but when you travel internationally, I look at people's airports, they're clean, there are in multiple languages, there is better technology, and you just get out. And when you just land in America, you just see these beige walls with no art, no design, and it's just bland. I'm like, I know people just feel like their heart sinks.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It just has to. But no, I do think that yes, a lot of things that we do is just marketing, right?
Yeah.
We forget there are people in America who don't have running water, who don't have bathrooms,
True.
who don't have access to clean food, clean vegetables, clean air. I mean, we're even right here in Allegheny County, we have breeze alerts and smog alerts, and we have alerts going out because our air right now is not clean. You drive and there's smog and fog.
It was air quality alerts all weekend.
All over the city. You're like, oh, was that a cloud? No, baby, that's pollution. Right? And it's we are ourselves not even meeting the standard of living that we claim that we're invading other countries so they can have. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I do feel sad.
That was a bar right there.
Right? It's I do feel sad because I do think that, yes, a lot of Trump supporters have been lied to, have been swindled, but I think also some people, it's you either going to believe in the lie or have to deal with the reality of the truth. And for some people, the truth is just too hard of a pill to swallow, so you rather believe the lie because it is just, it gives you the ability to go to sleep at night. If not, you're going to be going, Matt, what is the quote? Like, to be
conscious is like being like a fit of rage all the time. It was like a James Baldwin.
And so
yes,
people don't. It's not healthy to be angry all the time. It's not
people
healthy.
want the blue pill, right?
It's just like you're always going to be fighting against something, and sometimes people have to pick and choose where their battles are.
Yeah,
and it's just like, do I want to pretend that this man is going to save me, or do I want to have to now figure out what mutual aid strategy me and my family need to survive for the next year?
Well, you mentioned to Miracle's point. I just want to mention. I want to shout out Uncle Ben from Spider-Man, where he said, with great power comes great responsibility.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of people ignore the truth of what's happening, because when they see the truth and when they acknowledge the truth, that comes with the responsibility of having to act and walk in that truth.
Yes.
And it also comes with the responsibility of looking at the reality that you've shaped for yourself and being like, how do I need to restructure this reality to fit a new truth?
Yes.
Do I want to fit a new truth, or do I just want to kind of, go with this truth that I've had for so long, that I believed in it for so long, that helped me to build everything that I have, so that I don't have to, deconstruct everything that I've built?
Well, yeah. I mean, I feel that. And I think that that's right. It doesn't have to be that arduous.
Yeah, right.
Though, right? It can just be like, hey, maybe a guy who has hundreds of sexual assault allegations
shouldn't be the guy.
Isn't that good? And I mean, it's funny because, when he came to Pittsburgh, he kind of looked around and was like, is there anybody here who has as many sexual assaults as me? I think Antonio Brown is.
Oh, shit.
It's kind of up there, right?
Damn.
So Antonio Brown.
Jesus Christ.
Allegedly. Oh, my God.
Oh, I forgot that was Antonio Brown.
CTE ESPN.
Yes. And he fully tells you he has CTE.
That's what he calls himself on Twitter, CTE ESPN.
Yes. And he spoke Trump was in Pittsburgh, and Trump got Antonio Brown to speak at the Trump rally.
I'm surprised he still has the cognitive ability to do such.
If you play the clip.
Yeah, I haven't heard it yet. So
we
this
might
is my first
question
time.
a little bit of his cognitive ability.
Damn you, Vontaze Burfict. See what you did to our hero.
Shout out to the MAGA coin, and the greatest president coin going, a MAGA coin. Have you guys ever seen a MAGA movie?
What?
Make some noise if you've seen the MAGA movie.
It's like he got up there and was just like,
This is why you got paid speech writers.
Have you had a MAGA melt? He was just, whatever was an M. It was
a MAGA melt.
Have you had a...
This is why you got to talk.
If you had a MAGA mop, it's like he didn't know what to do and just started...
folks. That's why you got to prep your folks. That's why you got speech writers. That's why.
But again, I mean...
There is a MAGA movie, though.
I don't know. But...
Huh?
Spaceballs. Oh my God. But again, it's
great
like,
film.
Do we expect Antonio Brown to be up here and deliver some amazing? Did you see when he tried to hug Donald Trump and Trump was kind of like, yo, get away from me, man.
Shit.
We not that cool.
I'm going to say my problem with Antonio Brown and my problem with all of these black folks who have endorsed Donald Trump is they have decided to take up his mantle of white supremacy.
Yes.
And his bigotry. So, AB was tweeting out and calling him Tampon Tim.
Yes.
Because Governor Walz at that time supported measures that would allow free tampons and period products within schools, right?
Yes.
And we know from the stats that as black girls, particularly poor working class black girls, who benefit the most from having access to period.
Doesn't AB have a daughter?
What does that mean?
I'm not
like,
sure.
Why wouldn't he want his daughter to have access to those things?
But my thing is, just because you are a father to a girl
or a girl
dad doesn't mean you're not going to be someone who doesn't believe in women's rights or support women. It's like,
absolutely.
Girl dad was great for, a little Instagram caption, but a lot of these men are still deep in the patriarchy, are still, cried when they found out they were having a girl and not a boy. So it's like, it's not the same. But what I was wanting to point out is like he's going off and is like putting this thing of like, we don't need tampons in boys' bathrooms, as boys don't have sisters and mothers who menstruate, as boys and men are not dating women who might also need access to period materials and tampons.
And it really wasn't. It wasn't about in the bathroom. It was that they were putting them into boys' locker rooms because in a lot of these schools they don't have separate locker rooms. They don't have girl, and there's just one locker room. And so they were having the tampons be in the locker room that both boys and girls use, and then it becomes this talking point of like, oh, they want to, introduce these boys to tampons, like you said.
But they should know what tampons are.
Like they don't have women. They don't live in houses with women and see tampons.
That is the problem. Like y'all.
They're in your house.
People don't know anatomy, and that is like the problem on so many different levels. Yeah. But why are you upset? People menstruate. They're going to need pads. They're going to need menstrual cups. They're going to need tampons. And this idea that it becomes this arguing point that you want to use to go out and mobilize all these men to vote for Trump absolutely makes no sense. But when you are a black man going in front of a white audience to sit there and say that this is okay, knowing full and well that this is a policy that helps black women and girls is absolutely unnecessary and distasteful. And the last thing I'll also say is, again, these men act like they're stupid and act like they're fools because that they use that as the pretext for passing legislation that harms people. But not having access to period supplies creates a period tax. That means that 1 in 5 women and girls cannot go to school and cannot go to work. Not knowing anatomy creates legislation that creates the real living conditions that has women bleeding out in hospitals because they're not able to get medical care. Not knowing what's going on with women's bodies is the reason why we can't even go to the pharmacy and get medication if we're possibly going to get pregnant in the next 4 or 5 years because you just didn't know women had diseases and needed to have medication. And so that is something that makes me so irate when these men, particularly when they're black men, they go up and they want to talk about protecting girls and saving girls and making sure girls have big, strong men to protect them when they're pushing legislation that's actually going to kill these girls.
Right. Come on, man.
And we've seen that. We've seen black women die based on not being able to get the medical care because of these draconian laws that these Republicans passed, right? And again, it's this idea of like, again, this is marketing, this false idea that somehow like Trump is this like alpha male, right? And that we need like somebody like that to like protect women and that's why we need this strong man, when really the opposite is the case. And again, to me, this is also marketing, right? Because this is somebody who has expressed sexual desires for his own daughter publicly on multiple occasions, and it's not disqualifying, right? It's so many. This is somebody who has been a threat to women his whole life. This is somebody that said like, yo, grab him. Yo, I just go up and grab him.
Is that dark MAGA or dag MAGA?
Stop.
This is somebody that went to a campaign stop outside of Pittsburgh and decided to share a story about the size of another man's genitalia. I want to pass this to you.
I just don't understand. Like,
I want to pass this to you.
The Great Arnold Palmer is no longer about tea and lemonade.
Exactly. So, did you want to play? I know you do, Farouk. I know you want to play this clip.
I was told what he said, but I haven't heard it.
Okay. So here's your first time listening. Here's Donald Trump expressing, I guess, joy over the size of another man's penis.
Has he actually witnessed it firsthand?
Secondhand. Well, here's the story. Here's the story.
Old man. This man was strong and tough. And I refuse to say it, but when he took showers with the other pros, they came out of there, they said, oh my God.
Pause.
That's unbelievable.
Oh my God.
I had to say it.
Oh, did you?
I had to say it. We have women that are highly sophisticated here. But they used to look at Arnold and say bad. But he was really tall.
Wow. Okay.
Farouk, as the president of the pause committee, how do you feel about?
We need a presidential pause for that.
The question is, okay, so y'all were sitting around one day, and somebody was like, "Hey, you know, a group of men."
On a Palmer's
No.
Like,
A
he got
group of
the
men.
anaconda.
Hey,
Like,
you know who had a really big dick? Hey, wait, what?
If that sentence doesn't start with me, then what the fuck are we talking about? Like, why are you
It starts with you. Why are you telling me in a room full of men about your penis size?
That would be the only way it would be like.
I don't know, but how would that be? I don't want to know that.
I don't know, bro.
I don't want to know that.
I wasn't there, man. I'm just as confused as you are.
Y'all are sitting around talking about Arnold Palmer's penis size, and nobody says, wait a second.
No one says pause. no one says pause. It's just like, yo.
No one says.
Let's keep the conversation going. Like,
no one says, wait, what was the context of this conversation?
Yeah,
the context was cock. That's what.
Wow.
Heard Arnold Palmer was really cocky. Like,
who else? What other historical figures were brought up into that conversation?
this is why I hate Earth, man. Like, this presidential election is it's a wash, man. Like, the whole thing is just a wash because it's a circus. It really is a circus, man. The nigga went on stage.
Donald Trump, I demand you share your source.
Man.
Who was in the shower?
Who was his source?
Who was in the shower? And then you scared about some trans person walking into the shower. Who was that motherfucker?
Come on, man.
Who was that guy? I'm just minding my business trying to take my shower. You all up in my shit.
And as Jasiri said,
with all types of rulers. And then you left and had a whole conversation about it. You went and told Donald Trump, hey, yo, I was in the shower the other day, dog.
This is, and everybody want to talk about what respecting office, right? Respect the office and all this, and there should be like some tradition to the presidency. This nigga was the president and is running to be the president again.
Yes.
And part of his campaign speech, his strategy is to get on stage and talk about the magnificence of another man's dick. Like, that's crazy.
Yes.
And that's supposed to get him into the White House?
Supposed to get him into something.
Dicks for Donald.
Dicks for Donald.
we have a title. We have a title for that.
Wow.
Dicks for Donald.
I mean, it sounds
Will
more like
YouTube
Donald
allow
for dicks.
McDicks.
Oh, right. Donald's for dicks.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
McDicks.
McDicks is McDicks. McDick,
You know, it's weird because like even though I didn't grow up around guys, I sometimes was wondering what would it be like. And I think this podcast just gives me
Hey, I'm gonna tell you what. Hey, Miracle.
No brain.
Hey, Miracle. In my older age,
yeah,
I had never been sitting around with a group of brothers and had a conversation that began with, "Hey, y'all was in the shower the other day."
Yo, hold up.
Do you know who's packing? I've never had no conversation.
I got more than tea.
Yo, I got a story for this. I got a story for this after the show. I got a wild story.
Come on.
I got a wild
He
story
just
after
wants
the
to
show.
tell y'all that some girls were having a conversation.
That's not it at all.
This is literally how it goes. But no, because like when me
Dicks
and my
for Donald.
friends have
Oh my
these
God.
conversations, it's a totally different reason, right?
Yes.
So it's not just like,
absolutely,
you know
yes.
what I mean? So I don't know how guys when
but we
y'all sit down
we don't
and
know
be
what the
like,
reason is.
size each other up. I don't know if that work how that works.
He was like, I can't wait to go to the Trove. I got a story for these niggas, man.
But then the guy in the shower was like, hey, yo, man. I mean, this thing, he's like, oh, shit, I'm about to tell. I don't get it. I don't understand. But again, I'm not part of Donald Trump's world. But again, but you'll tell me this is some alpha male. Nah, bro. Nah, I'm not with it. I'm not with it.
Dark
I'm
MAGA
just
is
trying to
crazy.
behave on this podcast.
Yes. Yeah. Well, come with the man.
Because my thing is like, because didn't Stormy Daniels say he was like underwhelming, right?
Yes.
Shit.
Right. So my thing is also is like, is this a thing where like
He has
just
envy?
Yeah.
Envy.
Wow.
Oh.
Damn.
I mean, again, like projecting. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't never heard no stories about Donald. Ain't no one told that story about
That's crazy.
Woo!
Damn.
We have
I
one.
feel like we should transition.
We have one more Donald Trump clip where he was again in Pennsylvania He was here all this weekend.
Damn, Pennsylvania.
He came to watch his New York Jets get blown out.
But he's a Steelers fan.
Pause.
By
the Pittsburgh. No, he ain't no Steeler fan. We ain't claiming that, man. He no Steeler fan.
I'm just telling you what I was told.
Lying
that he's a Steelers
ass. He ain't no Steeler fan. Your Jets got whooped. You know what I'm saying? And again, I think like when we talk about rhetoric, remember, this is the party of we can't use this type of rhetoric because that rhetoric causes violence. Here's Donald Trump talking about our current sitting vice president.
Kamala Harris, that you've had enough, that you just can't take it anymore. We can't stand you. You're a shit vice president. The worst. You're the worst vice president. Kamala, you're fired. Get the hell out of here. You're fired.
He sounds drunk.
Get out of here.
I mean, you know, he might have been. You know what I'm saying?
That's.
Yeah.
I've never heard anybody in the history of politics talk about a vice president this much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ever.
Yeah. I mean,
before he ran, I bet you he couldn't even tell me what the vice president did.
I mean, you know, he tried to have his vice president killed. So
He did
obviously,
try.
Yeah.
I mean, just call it. Maybe this isn't as bad. This is as bad as what he attempted to have happen to Mike Pence. But Miracle, when we see this type of rhetoric, is this just? I mean, are we going to see more of this in the upcoming weeks? Is this going to ratchet up and it's going to get crazier and crazier?
It's going to ratchet up because right now they're like, they're just trying to win in the polls. They're trying to get all these clippets to be on like the news programs and to be talked about. So it's going to ratchet up. I do think that like we have not heard the worst from him or seen the worst from him.
Hopefully no more stories, but go ahead.
But I think it's a lot happening right now.
Yes.
And I do think that this is on brand for him. We are now just seeing how vile and evil and mean he's been because it's not funny anymore. Usually it was like jokes, like really look at his wife.
Yeah.
Right now
Which
it's
is still crazy.
You know, now it's just like direct and targeted. And this is what we have to deal with because, you know, when it was time to impeach him, our Congress could not get it together. And now he gets to run.
You know
again.
what? I totally forgot that he was impeached. Twice, right?
Yeah,
twice.
yeah.
I totally forgot that.
And the thing about that is like they're like we're probably not going to be able to get the votes to impeach him, and it's like if you just had the trial, and brought the evidence,
right?
People would have known. What
Only
he
if you did what you were supposed to do.
You know,
Right.
Crazy.
And it is weird because now, you know, we do see the Democrats talking about a threat to democracy. But like you said, you were in power. You had an attorney general. You said you had all this information. You waited.
Yeah.
You waited. And now this man might become president and be able to exonerate himself from the federal charges. And now.
Could you imagine his face writing that document?
What?
Exonerating himself?
Oh, yes. He would, yes.
Like, he'd be like a Cheshire cat.
Yeah, it would probably the face he had when he heard about Arnold Palmer's penis. It'd probably be the same. I can't.
Wow.
Insert Trump meme.
So, but before we get off Trump,
Oh my God.
I do want to say.
I do want to just say,
Okay.
It's not even me this episode.
About Trump's language, right? The exonerated 5 came out and basically are suing Donald Trump for defamation for the remarks that he made in the debate with Kamala Harris. Basically, he had said the victim died, which was not true. Obviously, the Central Park 5 became exonerated 5 because they were exonerated. Another man admitted to the crime. His DNA matched. They had nothing to do with it. The lawsuit was settled, and they're right now, you know, really, really on the campaign trail, reminding folks who Donald Trump is because Donald Trump actually tried to have them killed. So that's interesting. I think Charlamagne the God also sued Donald Trump for using his words in a campaign ad, and so yeah. You had something, Trouble?
Yeah, I wanted to say, speaking of bitch shit and the debate.
Come on.
I feel like where was the smoke for Kamala when he was face to face with her?
Ooh,
You know what
come
I'm
on,
saying?
man.
Now he
Come
wants
on.
to say it when they're
Yes.
campaigning in different
Yes.
cities.
Yes.
But it's like, nah, say that to her.
Yes.
I want to hear you. I want to see you say that to that black woman's face. Do you have the balls to do it, or are you going to call Arnold Palmer? You know what I'm saying?
Come on, Trouble. And remember, Kamala said that before the debate. and say it to my face. Remember, remember Kamala rolled up on him with the handshake. And of course, obviously, Trump does not want to debate her again because he got mopped up. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't want to debate her again. So, moving off of Donald Trump and on to probably somebody that has a smaller penis.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
Okay.
When I think of small penis energy, I think of Elon Musk. I'm sorry. I mean, the man to me is like the definition of small penis energy. Elon Musk was also in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Miracle.
Committing crimes, allegedly.
Yes.
He was committing crimes.
Yes, because
yeah.
basically what Elon Musk, and there's a video, Farouk. Elon Musk is trying to get people to sign this petition.
Yeah.
And the idea behind it is what they're saying is this petition, like sign this petition saying like we have a right to freedom of speech and a right to bear arms, but it's really him attempting to get people's information so then he can send them these targeted ads to encourage them to go out and vote for Donald Trump. You know, he's promised Donald Trump that he will win Pennsylvania for Donald Trump. And to do that, he's also promising anybody that signs the petition a chance to win $1 million every day from now to the election. Can you play that clip?
That just sounds wildly illegal.
I have a surprise for you, which is that we're going to be awarding $1 million to randomly to people who have signed the petition every day from now until the election.
There's nothing that screams colonizer like a foreign white man coming to America and influencing or sabotaging an election.
Not only that, but this is somebody who gets billions of dollars in federal subsidies.
Yeah.
So this is somebody that because he gets so much money in federal subsidies that he actually has a real like skin in the game in terms of who's going to be president because it could affect his own business's bottom line. And so that he's openly coming out using his social media platform, not only to influence it, but now saying that I'm going to give away $1 million every day.
Elon's new slogan is definitely going to be MAGA because it's going to be make apartheid great again.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Miracle, you are a lawyer.
I have a theory.
Oh, tell me your theory, Miracle.
My theory is that both Trump and Elon are doing election interference.
Yes.
Right.
And regardless of what happens, that they're going to be investigated post-November 5th.
Yes.
But Elon, because he's so blatant with it, they're going to take Tesla, the government, and they're going to own Twitter, X.
I don't see, I don't think so, Miracle.
Elon's going to go to jail. Elon is breaking laws left and right. He is going to go to...
Is he a citizen?
House. He is. Yes,
he's an American citizen, yeah.
Can you unnaturalize somebody?
Yes.
You can?
Yes.
According to our own governor, Josh Shapiro, who was also a lawyer, he was attorney general, said that the giveaway was deeply concerning and something that law enforcement could take a look at. Again, this is, I don't know, the reason...
You cannot pay people to vote or to register to vote. So that's why when we have our events, we have them for the whole entire
because he's
community.
saying it's signing a petition, is that his way around it?
No, because you
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Federal law makes it a crime for anyone who pays or offers to pay or accepts payment either for registration to vote or for voting.
Because you only could sign the petition at one point if you're a registered voter. There's a whole bunch of stuff that was like going in there.
I got you.
But so my thing is, it's kind of like when you commit crimes, the government then has a right to say that anything that could have been used in the commission of the crime or the profit you got from that crime, it is now ours. And I do think that because he has so many issues with election interference, with doing a pact that's pushing Trump, with using like data. So at one point it was you were supposed to go to this link to register to vote, but it was coming to him instead of the voting.
Right.
It's all stuff that's illegal. You can't do that, right? So this is the one thing.
How has he not been stopped yet?
Because he's a billionaire, bro. I don't know.
I think if I were to guess, it's because the government let people seek themselves to the point where like they've done so much stuff
that
it's basically a slam dunk. You're either going to plea out or you're going to like have
accept
to
a
give
mandatory
up all
minimum.
of this stuff.
But if he does, I mean, here's Elon Musk, right?
But yes, they could actually take his citizenship away, right? So, for instance, people who are accused of terrorism, right? Government can say they no longer recognize your citizenship, right? Because you're a terrorist, right? And you have gone to get treason,
similar to like treason. Yeah,
like
okay,
so the government has done that.
With Sean, the rapper Sean.
He was deported.
He got deported.
But I thought Sean was never a citizen.
Maybe he wasn't.
There's a lot of, remember the women who ran over to be wives of ISIS and Al Qaeda. A lot of those folks that left America to go fight overseas, the government stripped their citizenship and said they were no longer citizens of the United States of America. So you could lose.
I honestly did not know that.
You could lose like your citizenship and you become stateless. Right?
Yeah, right. You become a person with no nation. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's a South African, so he would still have
South
African citizenship. But I do think that the federal government is going to come after him. I also think that for election interference, the conversation that Trump had with Netanyahu, I think it's also going to be seen as election interference.
Interesting.
Similar to how it was with the call he did with Georgia, the Secretary of State of Georgia.
Yeah.
So I do think we're going to see a lot of, especially if he loses, a lot of investigations coming down pretty heavily against Elon and Trump for the way they've engaged in this election, because a lot of stuff you just cannot do. Like, you cannot lie. You cannot pretend to be the Secretary of State. You cannot have fake, even for us, we register voters year round. Our information goes straight to the Secretary State's website. We don't hold on to that data and keep it ourselves.
Can I ask you?
An election law expert named Derek Mueller said, when you start limiting prizes or giveaways to only registered voters or only people who have voted, that's where the bribery comes in. By limiting a giveaway only to registered voters, it looks like you're giving cash for voter registration. You had a question.
So
the question would be, and this might be like some fantasy question, but if Kamala wins the election and then Trump does get investigated for electoral fraud or however it's phrased, could she, as a prosecutor, prosecute him as a sitting president?
No, because she would have to be either the attorney general,
right?
Some person in a prosecutorial platform,
right? You. Okay.
So that is one of the things that people are saying. They think that Josh Shapiro may be the next attorney general. He may be replacing Merrick Garland, and would be able to prosecute all of these cases because
that would be
he
crazy.
Has this expertise.
But if you're again, I think if you're Elon Musk, one, you're a billionaire, right? Like, you can
buy your way out of this.
Not only buy your way. I mean, we saw that happen, right? What was it? TD Bank?
Yep.
Like, got accused of laundering billions of dollars for drug cartels. And they were like, here's this, I think it was a $3 billion fine.
Yeah.
But nobody went to jail. Like, not one. I didn't even hear nobody's name, right?
It depends on if it's a civil case or a criminal
but
case.
if it is, well, no, that was a criminal case. They were accused of laundering money for the most violent cartels in the world, and nobody went to jail. It was like, here's this check, and we'll keep it moving, right? So Elon Musk has that, the laws we talk about on the show all the time. The laws were made for us. They weren't made for these billionaire white men. But also, if Trump wins, he's going to get pardoned. Like, let's say if Trump wins and Merrick Garland tries to do something, Trump's going to pardon him. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to have. And then if Kamala wins, is Kamala going to then start to prosecute her enemies in the way Donald Trump said he was going to do? Or does it make sense for Kamala to try to sit down with Elon and maybe bring her or him to her side? So it's like Elon knows that as this billionaire, think of all the lawsuits against Tesla and all of his companies, where it's just rampant racism, black people being called the N-word, people bringing monkeys to the site, writing nigga all over the place, showing up in Klan costumes. He's been sued over and over and over again.
I think the government is going to end up taking ownership of Tesla and X, right? Because Elon has done all of this stuff, and he is actually losing money.
Yes.
But I think that's some of the things. I saw a tweet. It was like, when there's a fine for a crime, it means it's legal for a price. And I do think that a part of the strategy is that he is going to put himself in a legal conundrum where he's just going to give that's going to be the negotiation. Like, okay, when you take ownership of this, I still have the stuff for my family's, mines and stuff. I'm going to go and do something else. That's what happened. That's what a lot of these billionaires do. They just literally will give the government control of something and they move on to something else.
But I think that, to me, if that were to happen, that like plays into Donald Trump, the right-wing conspiracy theory. I think that's the last thing that's going to happen because then it's like, oh, the government took Tesla or took Twitter
Tesla's
away.
Killing people.
I'm not saying, but it's like here's this billionaire, because he's right-wing and because he supported Donald Trump, the government came and took his business. To me, that plays into that conspiracy theory that could lead to violence. Again, we don't know if Trump, right now, the Washington Post put an article out that said, again, as crazy as it seems to me, right? Harris and Trump locked in dead heat in 7 states. That this is going to go down to the wire. It's probably going to, obviously, we already know Trump and his people are going to contest it. We don't know if, right now it's looking like a repeat of January 6th. It's like probably going to happen, particularly if Kamala Harris wins, right? These people are going to go crazy. And so I just don't think that's going to happen. I think Elon knows that. I think Elon knows he can just do whatever it is. He's a billionaire. And let's say he was prosecuted. He don't got to live in the United States of America.
Yeah.
That man can go to one of these countries and
extradition.
Wherever. He can go wherever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He got this little Starlink satellite and all over the place.
You think Elon's going to go space?
I think everybody's going to leave because they're going to be facing prosecution. Remember, Trump still has to get sentenced for his crimes.
True.
He said after the election, everybody's trying to figure out whether or not
he is
going to get
Trump supporters.
win or not.
If you lose,
take them all
but
with you.
But the reason I think that there's going to be prosecutions, especially after, oh my God, what's my bestie in New York? Scam God.
Adams? Oh, George Santos.
What we're now seeing is people running for office who are committing crimes because they believe that if they get elected, that gives them immunity. And because of the Supreme Court decision, I do think that they're going to be like, we have to stop this because of next one we're going to have actual crooks in Congress, actual people who are.
We just had Donald Trump as president. He's an actual crook, Miracle. He ran the country.
We're going to have more, right? People think the majority of Congress is going to be up for re-election next year,
But Miracle, this man is going to be a dictator on day one. The laws already say he can do whatever he wants. Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen.
Wins.
I don't think Kamala's going to do that.
All this prosecution has to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Because you have to save law and order, right? Because if not...
Do you?
I was about to say, you took the words out of my mouth.
No, but you have to.
When has America ever been about law and order, Miracle?
If everybody's now running for Congress because they want to get pensions for life,
yes,
and they're criminals,
yes,
and they're scamming,
I would argue that
created more violence.
But Miracle, I would argue that that's been the way people have run for Congress forever. They've been criminals.
But now they're outright crooks. Now it's people who are scamming and lying and stealing.
I am not a crook.
They've been scamming and lying and stealing. Miracle?
Not like this. So now it's like, do you want your local drug dealer to sit there and make an ad talk about he running for office?
Yes, I do.
That's what's about to happen. And they're going to
He's probably the best qualified one to make these deals.
Absolutely not. And the only way that's going to happen is if you have to come down hard. So you're going to come down hard on Elon because he has his pack.
I don't think so.
You have to come down hard on all these other folks. And then it's going to be like, we got to restore.
What if Big Meech get a pardon and he run for president?
Right. I mean, Big Meech is out now.
Yeah. What if he get a pardon and he run for president?
I would vote for Big Meech over Donald Trump. But because Donald Trump is actually the bigger criminal.
Yo, and what if he changed his name to the Blue House? That shit would be crazy.
You know what's
I'm pulling up to the Blue House on the lawn, flag waving.
You know what's wild about this is Miracle was the one that for how many years, right?
And Trump is still not in jail, though.
Correct. And that's what I'm saying. So why would you think that if Kamala wins, she's going to do the same thing Joe Biden did? Oh, she's running with all these Republicans right now. She's going to do this whole... No, it's going to be... If Kamala wins, it's going to be kumbaya. It's going to be let's bring the nation together. Let's eliminate the division. It's going to be that. She's not going to come out...
Kamala has to worry about 2028 if she wins. That means Trump is going to run again.
But Miracle...
If he's still alive.
If Kamala wins, Miracle... Right?
She's got to stop him.
If she starts immediately prosecuting people, these Trump people are going to go up probably bigger than what we've seen in January 6th. She knows she's gonna have
tell
to
a prosecutor not to be a prosecutor.
I'm telling you,
she has a list of people.
Because Miracle, this is the thing. Like, if and again, if Kamala wins, we will see. It's a dead heat right now. If Kamala wins, there's other people that she has to answer to besides herself. And if they haven't been prosecuting these people heavy, even these people that did January 6th that beat cops got light sentences. You know what I'm saying? Compared to when people beat and try to kill police, right? It's just not going to happen. And I think and again, if she was about that life, she would come out and say that. Yo, elect me, all this shit you're saying in Pennsylvania, that's illegal. Elect me, we'll put Elon's ass in jail. We'll put Trump's ass in jail. Yeah. I feel like that's the energy she should be on.
She hasn't said anything
she
even remotely close
should be on
that
energy. You know what I'm saying? She should be on that, we gonna bring back law and order, particularly to these politicians and all this bullshit we see happening. I would actually feel better about it if she was on that energy. She's not on that energy. You know what I'm saying? And if you telling, that's a whole nother, it's close to the end of the show, and I know we have other things to do, but she ain't been on that energy. Yeah. It's mad stuff we didn't get to.
Yeah.
That we can get to.
I mean, we said it was going to be a Trump-heavy episode.
And I feel like we do need to maybe do a special episode. We probably should do a special, because people have been asking us about the third-party candidates.
Yeah.
You know, we did, we've interviewed Cornel West in the past. I do consider Cornel West a friend.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We've had conversations with the Green Party's vice presidential candidate. Didn't pan out. You know what I'm saying? I do think maybe we need to have record a special our third party's real episode. You know what I'm saying?
Can I say something about this?
And kind of break that down in its own, because we probably need an hour to kind of go into our third party candidate episode. I actually tried behind the scenes.
I know you did.
To get a debate between Jill Stein and Cornel West, because the question I had was, what's the difference?
Yeah.
Right? But that didn't take place. I tried. You know what I'm saying? I'm just out here trying to help America.
Yeah.
Vote for Jasiri X. Just write me in.
And I'll say this, no matter what you believe in, who you want to fight for, what future you want to see, you could go to Vote for Peace, and they have a list of down ballot candidates who have talked about ceasefire, who have talked about arms embargo. Because this election, I do believe everyone should be voting and participating.
Yes.
And I know people say they're just going to sit it out because they're so upset. But there are people who hear you, who see you, and who believe the things that you do, that you could vote for, that you could support, that you could volunteer, you could outreach. People in Congress, people who are running for, in Pennsylvania, our treasurer, Erin McClellan has talked about moving away from bonds, but also saying that she will not sign a school voucher. These are people that we need in Pennsylvania to make Pennsylvania livable for all of us. So I do know that this election is something that people are wrestling with in all types of ways, but there are spaces and places for all of us at the ballot box.
Well, since we're here, Miracle, because I did want to ask you, since we're here, because a clip also kind of went viral of Donald Trump. Because remember, we talked last episode and you were saying Donald Trump was promising people a ceasefire, where Donald Trump said he was about to speak to Netanyahu, and Donald Trump says, quote, Biden is trying to hold him back. He should be doing the opposite exactly, or actually. So here's Donald Trump on the record as saying that he would not hold Netanyahu back, and that Netanyahu, that he supports what Netanyahu's doing, and that he would do the opposite of holding him back. He would let Netanyahu go full reign. If you're somebody that's considering sitting out because of what we see happening in the Middle East, and you see the possibility, your sitting out could actually elect somebody who is on the record as saying, I'm not going to hold this man back. I'm going to let him do whatever he wants. Isn't that also something that we should be considering?
Yes. Trump told Netanyahu not to do a ceasefire until after the election. I believe that was reported by Hertz, which is the Israeli paper on record. They have done a lot of phenomenal reporting about what is going on and the ceasefire talks. Trump was like, listen, the longer there is unrest in the Middle East, the better it is for both of us. Because the minute there is a ceasefire, you're getting kicked out of office and I'm going to lose the election. They are working hand in hand to make the suffering continue because it's politically expedient for them. War is personally expedient for them. Genocide is personally benefiting them, right? And I think people understand that. And the issue is that because the Harris campaign wants to be seen as strong and is in charge, they're not raising that issue. They'll raise it on talking about the border, but they won't raise it talking about what's going on in the Middle East. And that is the issue. So no, I don't think that anyone should be voting for Trump. I don't think anyone should be seeing Trump as the person who's going to bring peace to the world. I think they should see him as the person who is using Gaza as his own personal playground, because he's going to use that. I mean, the conversations that he's having, he's using that to, one, get elected, B, then he's going to try to use that to prosecute. He wants Biden in jail. He wants Harris in jail, right? So he can promise, oh yeah, I will prosecute them for war crimes because it's going to be politically expedient.
He can't do that now.
It's going to be, I'm saying, but it's going to be politically expedient for him, for all of his enemies to go to jail.
Yeah, but he can't do that.
This, right?
The law changed.
He can't do it for Biden, but he can do it for Harris, right? And so it's these type of things that people have to understand the way politics works, because it's a chess to him. It's a game.
Right.
He's literally playing chess with people's lives.
1,000%.
And I do wish that the Harris campaign would have listened, because we've all asked for them to meet with Palestinians, to meet with Muslims, to have public conversations, and they just won't do it. And it's like, if you just give a little bit, if you just did these one or two things, you could have won, and you could have been soaring in the polls, but they didn't want to. And that is what people are wrestling with. And that's why I always try to tell people that there are folks that see them and view them and love them and support them on the ballot, and that's where their interest could be. Because even if, regardless of what happens as president, we have a whole Congress, right?
Yes.
There's a people in Congress that could do a ceasefire, that could pass legislation for arms embargo, that could change the way our laws are written. But we have to win in Congress. There's people like Preston Norrie and Summer Lee who we need to put in office here in Pennsylvania. And that's what we need to be focusing on, not necessarily just who this one person is at the top of a ticket. We got to be focused on things at these down ballot local races that could impact our everyday lives right now.
I agree. And with that being said, we need to build a black future.
Well played.
Yes.
Amazing segue.
The radical politics of joy, pain, and care. Christopher Paul Harris has written this book. It says, To Build a Black Future, Christopher Paul Harris makes the revolution irresistible. This is not a book to be read once, but to return to whenever we get lost, a social compass bearing witness to where we have been, affirming where we are, and illuminating where we still might go. That's Rua Benjamin, who actually was just a MacArthur Genius Award winner. So shout out to her as well. So To Build a Black Future, our white pages, Christopher Paul Harris. With that being said, do we have any? We have a lot of upcoming events.
Yeah.
A lot. We'll be in Clarendon, you know what I'm saying, on this Thursday. If you're in the Pittsburgh area, we'll be at the Clarendon School. For Thursday from 4 to 7, we pulling up with our People, Politics, and Power pop-up. We'll be at Slappers and Bangers on Saturday, pulling up with some voter information. Shout out to Slappers and Bangers. That's Saturday, Thunderbird Cafe from 10 to 2. And then on Tuesday, the 29th, we will be doing a special Black and Brown Men's Voter Summit. Fat Joe, Viola Davis, Bun B, Corday, Yusef Salam, our own Lieutenant Governor Austin Davis will be in attendance. That's going to be a free event. That's going to be at the Kelly Strayhorn, 6:30 to 9 p.m. on Tuesday the 29th. So it's a lot happening, a lot going on. Follow One Hood Media. A lot of times people are like, oh, I didn't know that this was happening. Well, guess what you should have been doing? You should have been following the number one Hood Media, Instagram, One Hood on Twitter, X, and One Hood Media on Facebook. And that way, you'll hear everything that we're doing. Anything else going on?
Yes.
Go ahead.
How are you going to be upset at me?
Go ahead.
Just hurry up.
I'm happy you're living your thespian dream.
Just hurry up.
Hurry up. Okay, he has got a little play coming.
I don't like the little play shit.
He's got a big play. He's got a big play. He's got a whole new wardrobe that he's debuting for this play. It is basically, if you like him now.
He has a play as big as the size of Arnold Palmer.
Oh my goodness.
You know how big this play is? I was in the shower one time.
Oh.
That's right.
Jesus Christ. Wow.
Please tell us about your play, sir.
So I'm coming, wow. I don't even know how to. Jesus Christ.
Follow
Ghosted.
him.
Yeah. So
Ghosted.
So I'll be in from the 24th of October to the 2nd of November. I'll be starring alongside Shannon Williams in a Halloween cabaret called Ghosted Tales from Carson Street at City Theater. I think the first 2 shows are sold out, but tickets are available on citytheater.org. Jesus Christ.
Yes.
But yes, please come out. It's gonna be an immersive audience experience in cabaret. Basically, you're gonna pay us to scare you. And come see like a really immersive and interesting, one of a kind Halloween cabaret brought to you by City Theater.
Got you. Miracle, you have stuff happening? Trouble?
I wore this hat because I knew the subject matter of today. Hate will not make us great.
I love that.
I beg to differ.
Never lose sight.
I love that. Never lose sight.
Yeah,
with that being said, I guess final word, Miracle. Troubles is never lose sight.
Just go see Farouk's play Ghosted.
Go see Farouk's play. Final words, Farouk.
Just let's end the show.
My last. Hey, when you take a shower, man, just keep your eyes up here. Just go look straight at the shower head. Or maybe your own body. Just focus on you. With that being said, this week, White Supremacy, y'all. Peace. Yes.